To all you ladies sales reps out there that are hustling dead end sales jobs, this episode is for you. Today, my guest is Jordann, iHail's first female sales rep, and she's absolutely killing it. Jordann, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Awesome. We'll hop right into it. So, name, where you're from, and how did you find iHail?
My name is Jordann. I'm from northern Wisconsin originally, and I found iHail on one of the online websites.
Indeed, I think.
Indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, online. And yeah.
Did you have any prior sales experience before coming on?
Yeah. So I was in mortgages, I would consider sales, for about 10 years prior to this job.
Okay. How has that kind of translated over? Or is it just kind of something totally new being in this?
Well, the concept of sales, there's the underlying principle of relationships,
Of
which
course.
is always the same. But the translation of the mortgage world to door and hail is completely different animal.
Yes, very different
Yeah.
indeed. What is it that pushed you to say yes to this? Essentially, what made you get in your car and drive halfway across the country for this opportunity?
Um, I guess I've always been like a yes woman. When there's opportunities that present itself that feel like a little bit of an edge, I'm always curious about what that is. And for me, I've been traveling the nomadic life for about 2 or 3 years, and it just really fit my lifestyle of being able to maybe see different cities. When I was first talking to the people bringing me on, they said that there'd be a few different places that we'd be at. And then also having the challenge. I think in the beginning, Ricardo was telling me how hard it was, and he's like, I don't know if you'd like it. And I think that, like, I've always liked a challenge. And so that aspect of something new and refreshing, and also keeping in mind, like, the past 10 years of my career have been sitting behind a computer and like in a office, whether that's at home or overseas too, but just being behind a computer, I couldn't do it anymore. And so having something that was a refreshing scenery, both in a new city and also um, in a new environment that was not behind a computer, was super intriguing to me.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the perfect type of job for the nomadic, for people liking to travel and explore different cities, of course, being that we're in the weather business. Because obviously, whenever we first bring on a new recruit, we talk about the income potential, we talk about the opportunity. Was there something in you that thought, could this be real? Is this a little bit too good to be true? Was there a little bit of skepticism there?
Mm, I don't think so. I think for me, I honestly forgot I even had like applied for the job. And I
Okay.
was just one of those things that I was like, what else is out there, you know? And one of my friends at some point in time was like, you should really check out Hale, because like you can make a good buck in just like a summer season. And then you can go, kind of F off and do whatever. So I don't think that I really had any kind of skepticism personally. It was just like, I mean, so at the beginning, no, but then the closer it got to like, it was like the different nuances of like going to a new city, once it kind of set in when I got accepted for the position, and y'all were like, okay, now drive to come see us and we'll have housing. It's like, well, is the housing going to be legit? And how much can I actually make versus like the top salesperson? And I had asked a lot of questions to Ricardo in the beginning of like, okay, send me the numbers. And like, I want to actually see, like, because in sales, people talk a lot.
Of course.
And one of the things when you're looking at a new sales income potential is like, well, anybody in sales can make as much as they want no matter what, right? But like, what does that actually mean, and what are the limits of that? So having some averages like that So yeah, I definitely wanted to look into things a little bit more, but as far as like the trust or the fear, I guess I didn't really have that in the beginning.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a common thing that we see, and once usually a rookie especially comes out here and they start seeing those first checks come in, it's like, okay, this is real. The money is there, the potential is there for sure. So, on that note, let's talk commissions for a minute. You're around 50 units ish for the season. That's around 75K in commissions, logged commissions. So, what does that feel like?
Well, I haven't seen all of it
Of
yet.
course, it's backed up a little bit.
But yeah, no, I mean, what does what feel like? What does having the commissions feel
Just
like?
yeah, that making that much money in just what, couple months of being here, like,
Mhm.
as far as highlighting that versus, the past.
I think honestly for me, like it makes me hungry for more. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
we've talked about like my goals and like
Sure,
what I want to do, but also like really conceptualizing the effort that it takes to make that. It's not something that magically appears. Like there's a delay in
sure,
receiving that and the work that you put in. But even like, the money that I have received, it is definitely it's different than what I've had in the past. I'm used to large commission checks, but not having any expenses and all of that, and knowing that I'm putting that towards a future goal.
sure.
It feels very like that goal that I have for the future, which we've talked about, like
Mhm.
being on the beach and having my own coaching business. It feels more tangible.
Um, what has been your biggest challenge that you've faced in door-to-door sales?
I would say probably the biggest challenge overall is kind of like Um, I guess in the beginning, I had like a little bit of embarrassment
Mhm.
around it. I was like, door to door salespeople are weird, like I'm super weird doing this right now and kind of getting over that, um, wanting to like hide that part of like, I'm not door to door, I'm not this. And like just kind of then, um, embracing the culture of it and like, being part of a team that like, the sales meetings that we have where it's like, we are not like door to door is so much different than what you think it is. Like, well, what I thought it was. And so there's all of these like principles and the concepts of like psychology and not just going up to a door and knocking it and making a sale. It's like how to make this person feel comfortable, how to close a deal in a very short while. And all of that translates into being able to have awareness of what the other person is feeling and to understand them and to listen. So there's all these different skills that kind of flow into that. And so yeah, I think that biggest challenge just comes down to the shift in my perception of like what door to door means and now kind of embracing that and having so much fun with it.
Yeah, I would say there's a natural stigma that comes with being, a door-to-door salesperson,
Yeah.
and that's just something that society has, but as far as I'm concerned, I think that means it's an even bigger opportunity for someone who actually wants to be a rep because it means, as the world kinda hates on this position or job prospect, then, it just means it's that much more of an opportunity for people who actually wanna put in the hours and learn the process and actually commit to success for it, so, what is it like being an Ihalian?
Um, it's fun, it's weird, it's dorky. Um, yeah, I mean, it's really rewarding and like it's sharpened me as an individual of like being able to kind of quiet the world around me and really define who I am as a person, who I want to be, what I want my life to look like. And then surrounding myself into a world that revolves around the unknown.
It's always the unknown being
Yeah.
in the hail business,
Yeah.
so, what type of training and support would you say that you receive here?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think that there's a few different things. What I've noticed since I started working is like well, in OKC is different than now.
Yep,
But yeah, there's the bones and the structure that's there, that the tools and the systems that we have support us that we can learn from. There's the team of like I would say our colleagues of the other sales guys who are super supportive and want to see us win. And, when we have questions or, whatever issues, challenges that come up, they're there to help. And then also like oh, it sounds weird saying the management team, but y'all.
The daily sales meetings.
Yeah, yeah. So that is like, there's not one thing that's come up where I'm like, oh, I can't call Alec or Ricardo or whoever. And I'm the type of person that if I have an issue or a challenge, that like I'll go seek out the answer. And whatever that is, I've always felt supported by you guys, and that there is an outcome that's shared, which I feel like you guys both want the success of us as individuals in the sales perspective, but also in like our own emotional things that we go through too. So, yeah, I would say very supported. And there's another aspect too, which I've appreciated since I started, which is like you have to be willing to support yourself. Like you can't rely on like mom and dad to come save you and solve your problems. Like you
It's true.
need to be able to figure things out on your own. And what I've noticed in the people that stay and don't is their ability to problem solve and self solve. And there's been definitely moments where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And how do I get to the next point where you just kind of I've just had to kind of figure it out and go from there and see if I'm doing it right or wrong. And it comes down to also just defining your own way of doing things within the parameters of the guidelines and then also your own kind of selling style.
Yeah, you mentioned something there, figuring it out. I think that's something that's very true in commission sales in general, is just being able to figure stuff out, but then also having that training between the gong recordings, the AI, the scripts, the daily sales meetings, all that
Mhm.
stuff as well is helpful. What is the best piece of advice that you would give to a new recruit that wants to come into this industry?
Um, Best piece of advice, I would say it's just like what's coming to mind is like that curious George monkey.
Okay, okay, elaborate.
um and just like having a sense of like what you're getting into as far as why you're coming here. Most people are probably going to want to make a lot of money,
Uh-huh.
and so being in this space of being curious of what's possible and also like the things that you can learn within that space too, and having fun, it's like um this really like this beautiful space of like you get to create whatever you want and you can make it whatever you want, whether that's like creating a lifestyle for you to go to Dubai, or to have an off season lifestyle, whatever you want. And yeah, I would say just go for it, have fun, and having that sense of curiosity to self-reflect of like what's showing up for you in the sales world is also a reflection of like your inner world and how you can become a better person and really create whatever freedom you want.
Big goals, big learning, self-development. Yeah,
Yes.
in a nutshell? Okay, well said. Um, the big goal for this year, 1,000,000 in revenue or 100 units. You get a Rolex, $15,000 Rolex. Are you gonna win it this year?
Hell yeah.
You're gonna win it. Okay, I like the confidence.
Yeah.
Um, well, that is all I have for you today, Jordann. Thank you so much for joining
My pleasure. Thanks,
me.
Alec.